You know this is live, right?
Yep.
No swearing, Stevie.
I don't know if I could contain myself.
I know.
I mean, you bring the worst out in me.
I know. That was the Clash, Clampdown, and we had Queens of the Stone Age. God is the radio. That's what it's called. Then we had Kinks, Victoria.
I might agree with that.
What's that? What was it?
God is the radio.
Is it?
No, I mean it literally. Never mind, brother.
Then we start with T-Rex, Mambo Son.
Yeah, that's cool.
Beautiful. My guest is Steve Vai. And tonight, Generation Axe. Where'd you get that name from?
That's right. Well, it was something we were fooling around with. It was kind of hard to come up with a cool name, but Nuno was very creative. And he came up with it.
When? When did he come up with it? Recently?
Well, no, this was years ago because we started this probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it sounded good, and you know, it just stuck. You know, names, they turn into different things as you put your attention on them.
Yeah. No, because there was originally the band Generation X with Billy Idol.
Well, there was Generation X. This is Generation Axe.
I know, man. I can read.
Okay.
That's
big
what it
distinction here.
And then
Yeah.
me and Billy Idol and two other guys, one guy from the Sex Pistols and the original guy from Generation X, just did a show last week as Generation Sex.
Ah, moving up.
Moving along.
Who from the Pistols?
The drummer and me.
Oh, okay.
Not your buddy.
Yeah.
And
Did you ever hear that record I made with
I've
Lydon?
never heard it.
Oh man, it's so good.
Is it? Tell me a story. How did that come about?
Well, you know, people wonder what's Lydon going to do, you know, because he's got an image and he's got the sound, and then he brought Bill Laswell in, the producer.
I know Bill.
Bill's
yeah.
brilliant, man.
I did an album.
And
with
he
him.
had a whole vision for this where he was incorporating all these almost like African rhythms.
Yeah.
You know, and so he convinced Lydon, and they started working together, making this great record. Ginger Baker on drums.
Right.
And Laswell, we had a mutual friend, and he said, "You got to get Steve Vai on this record," you know. So I was all down for it, but I was on tour, so I actually flew in and did all the guitars on that record. Well, Nicky Scopolitis, great guitar player, he was on. He did some of the rhythm stuff, and within 2 half days, I did my guitar parts, and it just turned out great. It was a great kind of mix. It's one of my favorite records that I
Really?
played on, that Pill record. Yeah.
Did you do it in New York?
Yeah, we did it at Electric Lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Laswell's pretty wild, you know. I mean,
Well, he's a bass player. Did he play
Yeah.
bass on it?
I think he played some. Yeah,
But he produced it.
he produced it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was funny because it was real freedom for me, you know, because I was thinking, well, wow, I mean, you know, this is like the Sex Pistols, where they going with this?
Yeah.
Why are they asking me? Because I'm such a weird bird, you know. And it just worked so great. Lydon loved it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I like things that appear wacky,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's what's image? You know?
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people can't let it go, an image, but
Yeah. It's easy to put yourself in a box and stay in it.
can't get out of it.
You can't
yeah.
get out. So I always look to push myself a little bit beyond my comfort zone in an area that I think I can contribute. And
Yeah.
that was for Pill.
Yeah.
You know, that was good. It worked.
What year did you do that? In the 90s?
Oh, I can't remember those things. It was, early.
85.
That was 85?
85.
No, it wasn't 85. I was 25 in it. Let me see. It must have been. Oh, no, you're right, because I was on tour with Alcatraz.
He's Googled. He wouldn't be saying if he ain't Googled.
I remember when it came out. It was 80,
That's right, because
86.
I'm thinking.
That's
man,
what I said, 85.
see?
No one bloody listens, man.
I got a good memory, but it's short.
That's good. So you're doing Generation X.
Yeah,
Axe.
Yep.
Tonight.
Yeah, this is great. We started this thing. The vision was to kind of get one backing band, right, and to have all these crazy guitar players come on the stage, and in different groups.
Is there a headline or is it all mixed up?
No, it's kind of all mixed up, you know. So we start out where we all five come out, and we do on this tour, we're doing Hocus Pocus. But it's like you got to hear
Focus.
By Focus,
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus by Focus.
Yeah.
But you got to hear the arrangement.
Who's yodeling?
But all of us on the guitar.
On the axe.
Yeah, in harmony, 5-part guitar harmony.
Really?
It's nuts, man. And then we do that like at different times through the shows, you know. So then like we have Tosin Abasi, astounding player, you know, in his field and what he's doing. And he does a couple of songs, and then Nuno comes out and does a song with him. And then Nuno does this great set, and then Zach Wilde comes out and does stuff with Nuno. And it kind of goes that way. And then, you know, Yngwie Malmsteen, you know, I do a track with him, and then we all do a track. And on the last tour we did, we did Frankenstein. We do Frankenstein. Yeah. And you got to hear it. It's so cool, man, because all those sax harmonies and everything, perfect. I got every note.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Is it just instrumental, or is there a singer?
Oh, there's vocal songs throughout the set.
And you guys are singing, or do you have a separate vocalist?
Oh no, we got Nuno's an incredible vocalist.
Yeah.
No, we don't have like a separate vocalist.
Yeah.
Because Nuno and Zach and actually, oddly enough, Yngwie.
He sings?
Yeah. He's actually a really good singer.
Yeah.
In the last tour, we got a live record coming out, and we did Highway Star, and you got to hear it. I mean, it's like, you know that solo that Richie does in that?
Yeah, the classic.
Yeah, imagine that in 5-part harmony, you know? And Yngwie sang that, and it sounded great. Now this one, we replaced that song with Burn, so we do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep Purple.
Yeah, it's really great.
You're a big fan of him, Richie Blackmore?
Oh, yeah.
Was it you in his documentary? I saw it
a
few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so. I did an interview
about
for
him.
Yeah, it's about him.
But it's all, obviously, all the phases of Deep Purple and all the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, how could you? I was a teenager in the 70s, you know, and like Queen, Zeppelin, Deep Purple, that was my food. Yeah.
I think that Brian May don't get credit.
He doesn't, man. He is the most, in that whole genre, in that whole period, he's one of the most unique contributors. Just he doesn't get credit.
Why do you think that is?
Because what he does is so rich and so specific and so deep. It fits so well in Queen music. You just feel it as part of that music. But when you break it down and you look at it from a guitar player's point of view, it's unique, and nobody to this date could do what he does and make it sound like that. He is an iconic player. I'm telling you, and his tone, his choice of melody notes. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't just do solos.
That's catchy.
Yeah, his solos are like melodies.
Yeah.
And they're perfectly in place. Yeah.
Start, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Queen movie yet?
Not yet. Not yet. Waiting to see it. Did you see it?
No, I think I'm going to have to force myself to go to a big cinema to see it. I don't like going to cinemas, but with that one, I think...
Do you ever go to those Cineopolises?
That's that with the big chairs.
Yeah, and you get a button and you push it and the waiter comes and you can order drinks and food and all that. And it sounds great.
I've never done it. The idea of it sounds, to watch a movie and eating food seems weird.
Really?
Yeah.
I grew up like that.
Did they give you a blanket too?
Yep, they do. Blanket and a pillow.
So you can have a pedal underneath?
Yeah.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Couldn't resist. Yeah, but I do want to see it. I do. Apparently, every guy who's in that looks like the character in the band.
Yeah.
When did you start playing guitar? 2?
Well, I started in my mind when I was about 6.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually start playing put my hands on it until I was 12.
And who was your big?
Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
That was the first one. When I heard Page for the first time, I was like, "That's it. I'm playing the guitar." Because I loved the guitar before that, but I was too afraid for some stupid reason. I was just too afraid to pick it up, and I just didn't feel I was cool enough or something.
Yeah.
And then finally, when I heard Led Zeppelin, that was it.
Yeah.
And then the floodgates opened up, and then I heard Queen and all that stuff from the 70s, because that was my age at the time.
Sure.
Like Kiss, Alice Cooper.
How old are you?
I'm 58 now.
Yeah, I'm 63.
Really? Great.
That was all my stuff. Queen, Mott the Hoople, Humble Pie, The Faces.
Yeah. All that cool stuff. So you probably grew up in the UK?
Yeah, London.
Yeah, so
Hammersmith.
Hammersmith, yeah. So it's a little bit of a different. When you're American and you're that age, there's like Queen was so much, or Deep Purple was so much bigger in Europe than in America at that time. But still, they were huge, and they were staple stuff for me too.
Yeah.
It's
funny.
It was a good time, wasn't it, to have music like that?
Well, there was less rules.
Yeah.
It's not all uptight like it is now.
Yeah.
Society or whatever. It seemed like it to me as a teenager, like you could do whatever you wanted to do and it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't so much fear.
Yeah, people seem to, I wouldn't say experiment more back then, but albums, I mean, I love all albums from the 70s is my favourite
Me
era.
too. Me too.
The sound, the dry sound on drums and whatnot,
Raw.
way better than...
They didn't know what punching in was.
Yeah.
You know, they just performed the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny, it's funny. I got 2 boys, fantastic kids.
Yeah.
And that's how through the years, I learned what's going on in the music scenes over the past 20 years because of them.
Yeah.
And I remember once when they were teenagers, I said, okay, I'm going to turn them on to Bowie and Mott the Hoople and Cooper and Zeppelin and all this stuff. And I sit them down and I play them this stuff and they're listening and they go, yeah, it's cool, Dad, but it sounds old.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. And then I listen to the stuff they're listening to and it's
what do they listen to?
Well, my one son is into Julian. He's really into the heavy subculture music.
Like rap?
No, not rap. More like I don't know who he's into these days, but the underground heavy bands, the tuned down guys.
Yeah. Oh, that.
Yeah, and my son Fire is more techno.
Wow.
But they got great taste, and they'd bring home this music because they'd want me to take them to the concerts and stuff.
Sure.
So this is how I
you get
kept
them in.
up. Yeah,
you got the hookup.
Yeah, like I remember once I was able to get them to meet Linkin Park.
Yeah.
They were just like, you mean you know these? They know you, Dad? I'm like, I think.
You're the taxi and you're the carer.
That's right.
Oh, man. I mean, to be honest with you, you're not meant to like what your kids like. Did your dad like what you liked when you were growing up?
It's funny. No, but he allowed me to appreciate it without giving me a hard time. And you can imagine if, I'm like listening to Dead Babies by Alice Cooper, or playing the Star Spangled Banner with my teeth, on my guitar. Sounds like hell. And he's like, that's my boy.
Oh, yeah?
And then when I got into Zappa, I got really into Zappa. And, Frank's music is deep and rich. But some of the lyrics and some of that stuff is when your 14-year-old kid is listening to you, like, wait a minute. But no, they were always really supportive.
Ah.
Yeah, I was lucky.
Was he a musical guy?
No,
your dad?
man. What's funny is I did some research, and nobody in my family, as far back as we can trace on either side, was a musician. Except the closest I came to is my great-great-grandfather on my mother's side, who played violin and had a size 13 foot like me.
You got a big foot?
Big foot, big hands.
Wow. You know what I say.
Yeah, big shoes, big gloves.
What we play, Shovel? You got something else? I don't know what you're doing. I can't read it. What's it say? Just tell me what it says.
Play the Pill song.
What did that say?
The audience is listening.
Is that a song?
Yeah.
Well, let's play. Do you want to hear that or the Pill? Fishing.
Well, the audience is listening is my song and fishing, whatever you want.
I thought he was telling me that people are listening to the radio. What are we going to play?
Audience is listening.
Okay. Steve Vai, Jonesy's Jukebox, KLOS, take it away. You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox on KLOS. That was Pill, Fishing. Before that was Steve Vai. The audience is listening. Steve Vai is on both of them songs.
And he's in your studio.
And he's in the studio. That's 3 things he's doing.
And he's trying to figure out that riff that he did on that record just there. I think it was something like that. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Jonesy.
Is that no? It's good. It's good. I just don't know how you do that kind of guitar playing. I'm like,
oh, you practice your ass off for 30 years.
Is that what it is? But you got to have a mental brain for it too. It's
well, all you got to have for it is a love. You got to have a passion for it. If you anything that you love that you do, you enjoy it.
But let's say if you ask Keith Richards to do that, he wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, but if you ask Steve Vai to write Brown Sugar, you're going to be in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but I don't mean it like that. I mean as far as you've got to have a certain brain that can do things really fast, and
Yeah. Well, what happens is there's all sorts of different kinds of guitar players.
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated with the virtuoso thing.
Yeah.
I always liked the idea of having this control over the instrument. So you practice. That requires just like playing a lot with that goal, and then you progress in little increments. Like one day you wake up and that's the payoff when you can all of a suddenly play something that you couldn't play before. That's like a drug. You know, you get addicted to that, and then you just want to do more and more and more. And the more you can do, and the better you get, the more fulfilling it is. Yeah. Now, some people they don't need to do that. They would prefer just to like stop and just be able to play. You don't want Bob Dylan to be a virtuoso. He's perfectly suited where he's at in the guitar. Yeah. But when you're interested in doing that stuff, you figure it out, and then you do riffs and stuff. I mean, just to do something like that, it's just a lot of it's brain memory, finger memory.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, but just from practicing.
What do you think of Eddie Van Halen?
Oh, King Edward.
Do you think he was the first dude to do that your kind of style, that kind of approach?
Through the history of the guitar, there's always guys that come along and just kind of set a new bar. And really, and this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, when I look back through history, there's great players like I say, like Page and Brian. Brian made probably my favorites when I was young. But if I had to point to two people that I thought were like on the development of the guitar, like game changers, it would be Jimi Hendrix and Edward Van Halen, because there's just something in these guys. You know, they came, they looked, they saw what was going on, and they said, okay, I'm not going to copy any. I'm going to do what is in me, you know. Yeah. And Edward, you know, I don't know, man. You know, he was like a monolith when he appeared to us guitar players.
I've watched some things on YouTube where he's being interviewed and he's got his guitar with him.
That one that he did
with a woman interviewing him.
That's his best. One of my favorite, his best interview. It's very revealing. It really shows. If you ever had any kind of like questions about what Edward's evolution was, he gives it to you right there.
Yeah.
And it's rare that he does that.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool interview. And he plays his ass off.
Yeah.
He can still play his ass off.
Oh, yeah. I hung out with him a few times. We used to go up to this sushi restaurant up Beverly Glen.
Oh, yeah.
Sushi Co. it was called. And I would hang out with him sometimes in there and we'd chat. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, he could be funny. I've been up to the house a few times.
Yeah. Do you wanna jam?
Hey, I got my guitar. I brought it for you.
Let's just.
And I hear you throw some shapes on that thing, man.
Oh yeah. You wait and see. I'm going to show you, Stevie, baby.
You play anything, and I'll just follow.
Let's give you a plug. Generation Axe at the Grove in Anaheim
tonight,
featuring Steve Vai, Zach Wilde, Yngwie Malmsteen, Nuno Betancourt. Am I saying that right?
Yep. Nuno Betancourt. Tosin Abasi.
Who is he? That guy?
He's one of the new guys. The other four are pretty seasoned, but Tosin is this whole new evolutionary sound and voice in the guitar community, as far as my taste.
Sure.
And I wanted him on this tour because the show is very diverse within the rock genres. You know? And it just what we're doing on the stage is unique for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because you hear all these great harmony guitars. It doesn't stop. It's seamless. It's not like you got to wait for set changes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's really great, and we really enjoy it. Last night was the first show of the tour.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. We were in San Francisco and Oakland, and we hit the deck, and we changed the show up a bit because we did an Asian tour, very very successful Asian tour, and we played a tour in America already. And I recorded the Asian tour and just finished the live record. It's really great. It's probably going to come out early next year. And
did you film it?
We didn't film it. That was probably a mistake, but not to film it. But you don't know these things sometimes.
Never too late.
It's never too late because we are still looking forward to some. The most difficult thing with Generation Axe is getting everybody's schedules together. Because these guys are they're touring animals, you know.
Yeah.
But the show's great. If you can make it down, come on down. It definitely is a unique experience and a real celebration of the guitar.
Do you get asked to do a lot of sessions?
Yeah, I do them occasionally.
You're not a fan of sessions, unless you like someone.
Well, I don't, I'm not like a session guy that says, okay, I'll do it if you pay me, this is my fee.
Yeah.
I'll do it if under two conditions. If I like the song, if I feel like I can contribute really well.
Yeah.
Or if it's one of my heroes or something.
Yeah.
I've had great opportunities to do that.
Like, what do you think of him? I'm terrible with names. The bloke from Toto.
Steve Lukather?
Yeah.
Oh, Steve Lukather. First, he's a dear friend.
Yeah.
One of the funny. You got to get him on your show, man.
Yeah.
You won't even believe it.
He's a good player.
He's Steve Lukather.
Yeah.
He's. When I mention like Hendrix and Edward, as being these kind of the game-changing monoliths, right? In that realm, but not so much as far as a big scene goes. You've got guys, and Steve Lukather's one of them. He's one of those few players that continues to improve, and I very rarely see that. I see like Jeff Beck does that. He continues to evolve. Noticeably.
That's a guy we forgot, Jeff Beck.
Yeah, he was another for me. Just his music and food. I went to see him not too long ago. And I was just stunned, man.
How long's he been doing the no pick, bending notes?
I
with the
don't know.
tremolo?
I'm gonna guess, from my recollection, maybe 15 years or so.
Yeah.
I could be off, but I remember the story was he was playing and he dropped his pick, and he just started playing with his fingers, and he thought, oh, okay, and that's it. And man, I got to tell you, from a guitar player's point of view, when you watch him, the way he crafts, every note, like one note.
Yeah.
When they say you can tell a player just by hearing one note?
Yeah.
No, you can't mostly.
Yeah. Unless
With
it's
Jeff
me.
Beck?
Unless
Yes.
it's me. Ready? There you go.
Or it's me, because it always goes. But with Jeff Beck, one note, yep, that's Beck.
He what was I going to say about him? I forgot. He only sung on one song, didn't he? Hey Oh Silver Lining.
That I don't know.
That was a single. That was actually a hit in England.
Jeff Beck sang on a song,
And he sings on it. It
Oh
was
my
Mickey
God.
Most, I think, produced it. Yeah. It's actually a great tune.
How come I don't know that? Can you remind me? I want to check that out.
Oh, man, it's good. Okay, buddy,
All right, let's jam.
let's get down with it. I'm just going to come up with a riff or a chord progression, and you're gonna get going. That was pretty good. That should be the single.
I think you're throwing some nice shapes there yourself.
Ah, please. Thanks for coming by, buddy.
Thank you so much. Nice.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it
Steve
was.
Vai is playing tonight at the Grove of Anaheim, featuring Steve Vai, Zach Wilde, Yngwie Malmsteen, Nuno Betancourt, and I can't say this last bloke's name.
Tosin Abasi.
Tosin
Abasi. Yeah.
And
And we got a gig at the Wiltern on December 18th.
is it the 18th or the 10th?
No, it's the 18th.
18th, okay.
Yeah, and that's the last show of the tour, and we're throwing all the stops.
Okay, buddy.
Thank
You're
you so
the man.
much, Jonesy. Thank you, brother.
See you later.
All right.